triggers, disaster, what? Right, okay.
Welcome back, everyone. So today we're going to be discussing triggers. And Saira, you mentioned that you've got asthma and you talked a little bit about some triggers you've experienced. You want to expand on that a little bit?
Where do you want me to start? I've got loads.
So start off with the room itself.
So triggers. So, okay, in my room, we talked a little bit about mold last time. So that's one trigger. So make sure you get rid of it. Another trigger is dust. So sometimes I notice if I'm cleaning my room, like say if you're, doing a spring clean, and if there's very dusty, I could notice my asthma getting triggered. Carpets is an issue, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Get rid of carpets if you've got asthma.
Well, if you can, then yeah, it's a good idea, especially the larger pile carpets can harbour a lot of dust.
It's cozy and it's lovely in winter, but yeah, trust me, not great for your asthma. So if you can, try and get rid of carpets. Say something so I could.
So you also mentioned to me earlier that your dad smoked. So
yes, so he used to smoke. So when I was a child, he would always smoke outside. So he wasn't allowed to smoke inside. In the cold, whatever, it was just like, no, he couldn't smoke inside the house. He did give up smoking, and I'm hoping that was the reason, because he just couldn't handle smoking outside.
That's a good reason. Did that help you?
It did. And I notice even now, like if I'm around someone and they smoke, like even though they're not smoking in front of you, you can still smell it, right? So yes, it makes massive difference.
Yeah, and a lot of the smoke actually you can't see. So
exactly.
You're inhaling all that cigarette smoke and it's triggering your asthma.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing we were going to discuss was air pollution itself, and we've done a little bit of reading. So one of the big topical things is ULEZ. That's been expanded recently to try and improve air quality. But we did a little bit more reading, and we found out there's kind of different types of damaging air pollution. Do you want to try and name a few?
Oh, this is
I'll fill you in
I'm remembering the science lessons that you have. The periodic tables, and you have to remember what NO2 is.
Yeah.
So you want to take a guess?
Nitrogen dioxide.
And then we've got ozone. Wait, where I'm lost.
Ozone, particulate matter, sulfur dioxide. It's actually very interesting, but we're not going to discuss it in detail here, but we'll put a link in the description.
But like you said, like smoke, you can't see it, right?
Yes.
And I think sometimes my asthma would get triggered, but I wouldn't know what it is. So sometimes now I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking, maybe it was air pollution.
Yeah, it might be. And you can get apps and there's websites that tell you about air pollution levels in the environment. So if you're kind of going somewhere or planning a trip, then you can just look out for when air pollution levels are lower.
Yeah, and you get like the high pollen count as well, don't you? I think that's really useful. So you would know, okay, today's not the day to go out and do your shopping if the pollen count is high. So useful.
Exactly. Pets.
Oh my goodness. I love cats, but they trigger my asthma. It's horrible. But even if I don't see a cat and I go to someone's house and they have a cat, I know it instantly. I could just feel it in my breathing within like 10 minutes. I'll just know that, okay, something's not right. And I thought it was just cats, but it's not just cats. Any sort of furry animals, dogs, hamsters, whatever it is.
They trigger it for you, yeah. So everyone experiences asthma differently, and it's a good idea to try and figure out what your triggers are so you can avoid them. What about in terms of at home and kind of managing your triggers? What kinds of things did you do to kind of reduce, for example, the dust mites? I know there's dust mite prevention mattress covers. Anything else you did for the different triggers?
Like you said, there's mattresses. So anti-allergy pillowcases and mattresses really help. Just making sure you're cleaning up regularly. I keep like a little vacuum and stuff in my room. So be very careful with cleaning products. So disinfectant, sometimes you just get carried away. And bleach especially, I think, is one that triggers if you're breathing it in too much.
So kind of disinfectant products were a trigger for you. Did that get you out of the chores?
If only. It did, obviously, when I was younger, I didn't have that problem. But yeah, now I'm just careful with this sort of disinfectants that I would use and making sure not to spray too much.
Okay. Or you could ask somebody else to help out if it's
If
and not be in the room when they're cleaning that area. And then we did discuss kind of removal of mold, and if you're unsure, to get an expert to come in and check that for you. There's a few other triggers which might not be that obvious, but some of them include getting an infection, a flu or a cold. And also reflux, interestingly, can cause it. Anything else, Saira, you remember?
Thunderstorms.
Interesting. Yeah.
Okay, I think we noticed, didn't we, that sometimes hospital admissions, they go up, don't they, for asthma with... So I didn't know that was a connection.
Yeah, that's interesting. So there's links to pollen levels and thunderstorms, which can trigger asthma for some people. And cold weather itself might be a more common trigger, and breathing in cold air, and some foods and fragrances might cause it as well. And interestingly, even strong emotions for some people, they might cause you to breathe faster and even trigger an asthma attack. So it's important to know, what your triggers are. Yeah, so I think that's all of our discussion today. So thank you very much for listening. Bye-bye.